Hey guys, Jamie here at Thor Off-Road, and we are back in the classroom again with Carli 101, and today we're going to talk about steering stabilizers. So I'm sure if you guys have ever lifted a truck or ever put bigger tires on it, steering stabilizers are always something that you want to get because you want to make sure that you stabilize these wheels and tires. They're getting bigger, and we need to make sure that we eliminate bump steer and keep everything in control. We want to make it stable, right? The most common ones that you would see are going to be opposing steering stabilizers, and those aren't all bad. They do their job. They're there to make sure that the tires aren't pushing, the steering components around, but they don't necessarily do what Carli designed theirs to do. So I want to make sure that you understand the difference and understand the importance of why they did a high and a low mount steering stabilizer for your Super Duty or for your Ram. The biggest difference is going to be that these are tunable. And when I say tunable, it means that you can change the pressure inside of the steering stabilizer shock itself. So how does that exactly work? And why would you want to do that? So how it works is there's a Schrader valve on it, just like you would find on your Pathfinder shock or your King shock or even the backcountry now. And you can adjust the pressure off there. Now, these shocks are going to come at 200 PSI typically. Now, I will say if you compress that shock, it's probably going to be more than 200 pounds. If you have it fully extended, it might be a little less than that. We like to test them compressed because that's going to be the highest amount of pressure that the shock is going to show. So if you'll just turn the steering wheel once you install them, you can compress that shock and you can put a shock tool on it and you can check pressure. So now that I said shock tool, I want you to know that it's probably really difficult to change the pressure in this shock without a shock tool, because that is like 50 to 80 pounds. Like, it's a lot. And that can make a really, really big difference. And you want to go way more incremental than that when you're tuning these shocks and making sure that we're trying to get this fixed. So they come around 200 PSI. You can go as low as 70, but you can't go below that. And anything below that, that shock needs to be recharged and you need to start over. I'll also say if you're going to 70 and you've got 200 on the other shock, there's probably something else wrong. Because if you have a pull, it might not necessarily be a radial pull, or it could be something that's just not going to be corrected. So why did they build these the way they did? We go back to the radius arm conversation. We go back to all of the other components, and you will see that like all these little incremental changes we're making are just to make that truck ride perfect. Bringing up radius arms, we were correcting a lot of geometry in the truck. We've lifted the truck now, we've changed the ride height, we're trying to get the axle back in the right position, we're trying to get the alignment set where we need it to be so that we can clear tire, so that we can get the truck aligned properly. This does not change the alignment, okay? So let's not confuse those two things. The alignment needs to be done properly. And then when you test drive that truck, if you feel a pull, it's probably going to be something radial. Now, we've all joked around the Carli world, Toyo's pull right and Ditto's pull left, and there's probably a lot of truth to that. But the thing is that with all the different tires that are out there, and we like what we like, there's a ton of different options. It's being able to put these components on and then get the truck to driving straight, even though the alignment is set and the tires are doing something different. This is just an awesome way to be able to get that done, and I can't say enough about adding this to your kit. It's almost like a no-brainer. Like, we almost don't even give you an option if you build your truck here, because we want that truck to drive perfect when it leaves, right? These things are expensive, and we want it to be right. So anytime we're going to at least a 37, we're going to be putting a high and low mount on that truck so that we can align it, and then we can go out, test drive it, and tune it, and make sure that it drives straight with whatever tire preference that you have. So if you're going to do this yourself, just remember, you probably need to get a shock tool ahead of time and read the instructions. It'll tell you which ones to change if you got a right-hand pull or a left-hand pull. And if you get too far of a discrepancy between the shocks, you may just want to just charge them back up and start all over again, because you probably have something else going on. The main difference between what you've seen in the past and what Carli has, hopefully I've kind of lined it out for you, opposing steering stabilizers versus something that is mounted to line up with your steering components. that will give you the ability to tune that truck and make those fine, like incremental changes that we always talk about to make that truck drive perfect. Now, if you're still not sure if they're right for you, you want to give us a call, you can do that. Message us on Facebook, Instagram, email us, have your grandmother write us a letter. I don't care, but call us and ask us. We'll lead you in the right direction. We also have all these items available on our website. So when you outfit your truck with your next package, add these in and read the instructions and get your truck driving perfect too.